緒の人間決めんのめんどくせえな。大樹、てめえが選べ。
ありがとう、センク。答えはもちろん決まっている。
Hello everybody, Megazord X here, and I'm back at it again to give y'all my second review over the second episode of Dr. Stone, King of the Stone World. And I have to say, this episode was pretty crazy with the introduction of our newest member of Senkun's group. But today I'll be going over the plot, the newest member of the group, and some sneaking suspicions that I have with this new member. So go ahead and dust off that cold stone seat of yours, and go ahead and get comfortable, as we're about to dive into the second review of Dr. Stone.
なぜ日本にライオンがいるんだ。なも出どころは動物園しかありえねえだろ。おはよう世界、グッモーニング。地上に変えていくオルセイ、一歩ずつ石を浮かすようなこの歩みで世界を広げよう。
Having successfully released a stone bird from its petrification, Taiju asks Senkun what they'll do next with the cure. Senkun simply replies they'll have to free all of humanity eventually. He gives Taiju the choice of who they will free first, and his choice is pretty obvious. Taiju leads Senkun to the giant tree where Yuzura is still holding on to after all of these years. He apologizes to her for not saving her and plans to set her free from the stone. Senkun hands him the cure, but he refuses to free her while she's still naked. Taiju tries to carry her back to camp to place clothes on her, but a lion suddenly appears. Senku explains, lions who have escaped from the zoo has become the top of the food chain in the stone world. As the boys run away from the forest, Senku adds that the lions haven't seen bipedal creatures yet and are likely being cautious. However, without a proper way of fighting back, it's only a matter of time. Taiju decides that he must be Senku's shield, but Senkun tells him to keep running because humanity needs brains and brawn. Out of options, Taiju leads his friend to the #1 strongest primate high schooler, Tsukasa Shishio. The lions corner them, but Senkun frees their new ally with the cure. Tsukasa asks for the situation and immediately kills one of the lions with his bare hands, scaring the rest away. Taiju says he's amazing, and Tsukasa promised to do all the fighting. Senkun remains skeptical, however, believing he's too strong to be tamed in the stone world. The trio returns to the home camp where Taiju tells still petrified Yuzura he will save her soon as they make more of the cure. Senkun takes Taiju to the laboratory where he properly introduces himself. Tsukasa learns the boys have rarely been eaten and immediately puts himself in charge of hunting. Senkun and Tsukasa work together to preserve plenty of meat, including the night's fish feast. They eat on a beach and Tsukasa abruptly breaks a boulder to free a petrified person underneath. Later, Senku asks, what's the most important thing for a technological situation? The answer is calcium carbonate, or lime, aka CaCO3. Taiju collects dozens of seashells and smashes them into powder. Calcium carbonate has 4 immediate uses, upgrading soil, creating mortar, and soap. Tsukasa admires Senkun for his amazing intellect, but the latter believes the strongest human currently alive has ulterior motives. Taiju returns with seaweed to collect more calcium carbonate form and asks what the 4th use is. However, Senkun retracts his previous statement and says there are only 3 uses. The next day, Taiju continues to collect seashells while Tsukasa stares at the water. He says that seashells never belong to anyone. The same goes for the land and the sea. A long time ago, a boy tried to make a seashell necklace for his sister, but never got to because of a cruel drunk adult who claimed he owned the land. Tsukasa punches the head off a statue, effectively killing the man. Tsukasa claims that he can't bring back a world tainted by evil humans. The stone world is a paradise and only the chosen youth should be free, as this is a chance to reset the world. However, Senkun refuses and replies he'll use the power of science to save every single person trapped in stone, and that is where the episode ends. So overall, the key point in this episode is the introduction of Tsukasa. And man, what a freak of nature this man is. To be able to punch a lion, knocking it back several feet and killing it on impact is absurd. Who is this man to be able to punch through solid rock and rescue a girl that was stuck below it? This is stuff you can only see in shonen anime like this. From the very beginning, once he was revived, he lived up to the title, the strongest primate high schooler. Ideally, they wanted to revive Yuzura, but in that do or die situation with the lions attacking them, they were out of options. The only thing I thought of after seeing Tsukasa's abnormal strength is whether or not this decision will be a blessing or a potential curse. But for the sake of the here and now, it was a blessing. After the threat was over, it didn't take long for Tsukasa to start lifting his own weight and being the fighter and the hunter for the group. And thanks to his skills, they were able to eat much better than what they were doing already. One critical point in this episode is the introduction of the CaCO3, aka calcium carbonate, that Senku introduces to the group. Now ideally, when Senku asks the question of what is something that society must have, I was thinking on the lines of fresh water, since that's the superior critical thing for survival, but I was shocked when Senku actually mentioned calcium carbonate. It's really cool to be able to use the grinded powdered seashells to be able to make building material and improve the soil conditions to help with agriculture, but I wasn't thinking about soap. With them living in the stone world and no access to medicine or antibiotics that we have right now, if they were to get sick, it is literally game over for them. So having access to soap to help eliminate any germs they may have is extremely crucial and something that many of us, if we were to put into a permanent survival mode, wouldn't even think of. The last major thing that must be noted is the clash of ideals between Senku and Tsukasa. Tsukasa made it clear that in this new world they are living in, he doesn't want it tainted by evil people. So he thinks that it is better to not revive them at all. However, Senku said he wants to use the power of science and help revive all of humanity despite people's differences. So in this episode, we get to see our first look at potential conflict that is starting to arise. I was wondering if this would be the case, because if you look at the opening and see that one scene with Tsukasa walking in with the red in the background, it just didn't bode well with me, and this may be our very first foreshadowing scene. Usually in a survival show or book, you always have that one person that has their ulterior motives against the main protagonist and tries to rival them and become the main leader of the group. So the end of the episode left them at a standstill with tension still in the air. So will Tsukasa play it chill and return to helping the group like what he did previously? Or will we start to see a new side of him that leaves us with an unpleasant chill? We'll have to see what happens next in episode 3. So that is all from my second review of episode 2, so I hope you really enjoyed it. If you haven't already done so, make sure to hit that like button if you like this video, and hit that subscribe button and that bell to keep up on all things anime that I'm currently reviewing right now, along with any other Nintendo gaming topics that I maybe feel like discussing as well. You can also follow me on social media on Twitter at Megazard_X. So make sure that you tune in next time for my review of episode 3, Weapons of Science. So until whatever video I make next, see ya.
ここはストーンワールド。まだ何の汚れもない楽園だ。純粋な若者だけを復活させて。
全然1ミリも思わねえな。